It's a car I have justifiably called the Excellent. The internal organs from a Land Rover Discovery mated to the beautiful skin of a glamorous Mercedes SL. To create a vision of pure... what's the word?
Rubbish.
Right, that is the end of Conversationstrasse. Now, we all like the idea of a sports utility vehicle, a car that can handle the Australian outback at a weekend, and then set a new lap record at Hockenheim on a Monday morning. But even the German car makers can't seem to make the concept work. I mean, we've got this from Audi, the RSQ3, which is a dismal car. BMW have the X4, I think that's called. Don't want one of those either. Mercedes have this horrible monster. Certainly can't. They're all just rubbish.
And let me guess, you have a solution.
Yes, I do.
Oh, God.
Yes, I do. A car that is both sporty and utilitarian.
This'll be good.
Ye of little faith, watch this.
This is a Land Rover Discovery doing utilitarian things in Britain's muddy underbelly. And obviously, a machine like this cannot possibly be converted into a sports car. Or can it?
First of all, we have to remove this rather ungainly body. Now, you can't do that with a modern car because the body is the chassis, it's the skeleton. If you take it away, you're left with nothing more than a collection of unjoined up parts. However, you can remove the body on an old Discovery like this, using nothing more than one of these.
After just 40 minutes with no help from anyone else, I ended up with this.
Obviously, it's still utilitarian. It'll still wade through rivers and claw its way up muddy banks. But now there's a sporty flavour as well. Without the heavy body, it feels nimble, agile, light. If it weren't for the fact that the windscreen is now very close to my face, it would feel like a Lamborghini Gallardo. The only real problem with this is that Britain is a police state, and if I took this on the public road, I'd be stopped immediately by the constabulary, who would point out that I was contravening about 4,870 different laws.
It's not warm either.
Oh no, that's stupid!
Happily, both these problems would be solved when I fitted it with the body from a sports car. And this is the sports car I've gone for. A 1978 MGB. Highly trained men are now removing its skin, which will then be mated in a delicate 2-hour operation to the internal organs of the mud-plugging V8. The following morning, my incredible car was ready.
It is incredible that in a shed I have created something which has eluded the combined might of the motor industry. It is a proper sports utility vehicle. I call it the MGD, and now I'm going to find out how well it works on the road. This is magnificent. And it is quick. Oh, yeah.
To demonstrate just how quick, I'm going to do a drag race against the motor industry's idea of an SUV.
A little bit of play there.
Let's do this. Come on, yes, look at this. The 1.5-litre diesel is no match for the 3.9-litre V8 MGD. Come on, pride of Britain. Yes! Oh, God. The brakes don't work.
With the performance box ticked, I continued my testing.
In many ways, the MGD puts me in mind of an Audi R8 Spider. I mean, OK, in the Audi, the dials would work, and the switches, and the brakes, and the steering, and it's a bit less bouncy, but both of them are four-wheel drive, two-seater, drop-head V8s. There is, however, one very big difference between the two cars. You can't do this in an Audi. Oh, yes, yes. Moments ago, I was herring round a handling track, and now look. Brilliant. Oh, no, not now, you bastard. I mean, you wonderful thing. Choke? Oh. Yeah, that. It's on its shutdown thing. It's just to save fuel. It goes on 2 cylinders sometimes.
Once the engine management thingy had run its diagnostic program, I was back on the move.
Here we go. Yes. Mighty four-wheel drive system hauling me up there. What the hell? I'm stopping. Oh, Lord. That is not right, is it?
As I got going for the second time, I realised I'd been a bit of a chump.
The mistake I've made, of course, is that I've introduced you to this car before I've really tested it. That's not what car makers do. They test a car and then show it to the press and the public. I'm doing that the other way around. I'm introducing this to you before I've done the testing and... Oh, for Christ's sake. You little beauty. Now, yes, what was I saying? I think the issue is, really, you're watching my workings out here. What you really want to see is the finished product. That's what I should have done. Oh, for Christ's sake. Right.
At this point, I decided, for no particular reason, to scrap the MG idea and go for something else instead. This is what I chose. A 1980s Mercedes SL, partly because it's the very essence of quiet, urban restraint, taste and elegance. It's a car that was driven by Bobby Ewing in Dallas. Mostly, though, I chose it because it would fit more snugly on the Discovery chassis. This time, the men worked tirelessly for nearly a whole day to marry the two cars, and the result was spectacular. It's a car I have justifiably called the Excellent. The internal organs from a Land Rover Discovery mated to the beautiful skin of a glamorous Mercedes SL. To create a vision of pure... what's the word?
Rubbish.
It's not rubbish.
Did you paint it with a brush or a bucket?
It's got those headlights that swivel when you go around a bend, look, so that they point at the road.
OK, let me ask you this. Which would you rather have, the Excellent or that Porsche?
That Porsche.
Why?
Because it's better in every single way.
To prove my cynical colleagues wrong, I invited them to go for a drive.
Oh, kind.
You see, it's an optional extra for the shorter gentleman. You comfy, Hammond?
No. No, is this as in as I can get?
Yeah. Oh. Right, listen to this.
Oh, no, it moves!
We'd only gone a few miles before Richard and James completely changed their minds and realised that the Excellent was the best car they'd ever been in.
No, we haven't. Stop saying things in voiceover that aren't true.
Is it not? I thought you changed your
No,
mind.
maybe a bit. It's worse than I thought.
Can I put the heater on?
That's not connected.
Is it not?
No.
What's that dial down there but left of the steering?
Speedometer.
Well, why have you got that one, not that one?
That doesn't work.
Has it got a fuel gauge?
Not as such.
Has it got a temperature gauge?
Not really.
There's a lot of wires hanging out of the dash that aren't connected to things.
You haven't given it an interior. I can see the road.
I can as well.
No, there's a hole in the floor.
While Hammond and May had one or two minor issues, they both agreed that if I were to put my car into production, it would make me a fortune.
No, we didn't agree to that either.
No, I've done the maths, honestly. The Discovery was 2,500, Mercedes 4,500, £7,000 of the work, that's 14,000 quid. I could sell this for 120,000.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, I could. A Cayenne Turbo is 120.
A Cayenne Turbo is a proper car built by Porsche. This is two scrap cars glued together by a Muppet.
It isn't designed for people like you.
What?
Oh.
People with eyes. People who can dress themselves in the morning.
I'll tell you exactly who will buy this car.
People who use roundy-ended scissors.
Footballers.
No, they won't.
Footballers like Ferraris.
Yeah, and Bentleys and Range Rovers and Aston Martins and all
Not
that.
this thing.
To prove them wrong again, I decided to head for the nearby Chelsea training ground.
These are people who understand cars, not like you two.
Yeah, they understand cars. That's why they buy Range Rover Sports and Aston Martins.
They buy those things because they didn't know that you could do this. I like my car.
It's shit. They're flocking to it, aren't they?
You just watch.
Do you mind if I go and stand next to something else?
Soon, some players arrived, which gave Richard and James a chance to show off their footballing knowledge.
You're really tall. You should play in goal.
Yeah, I do. I play in goal.
I know that, yeah.
So what part of Chelsea are you from?
I'm from Belgium.
Oh.
How do you know they're footballers?
Well, do you not recognise them?
Well, they're in football
He
outfits.
doesn't
yeah.
even recognise you.
Where's Alex Ferguson? Why don't we ask him?
At this point, I dismissed my ignorant colleagues so that I could operate the subtitle machine.
Déjà, premièrement, à Londres, il fait froid. Donc, décapotable, c'est pas bon. Non, c'est pas très confortable. Regarde, je regarde pas, je peux pas voir.
Can you do keepy uppy?
Yeah. Take a shot at me. Well, that's ridiculous, because what
Well,
can I
you're
do
supposed
with
to
that?
jump.
I think this is flipping horrific. So you've butchered a classic car.
Right, watch this. Little toss. No.
Não tem conforto nenhum. O meu é melhor, o meu é melhor.
Just
Eita, cuidado pra não quebrar aqui as coisas.
Tem rato aqui não, né?
Não, tá legal. Que o motor tá bom.
Saved!
Sí, si quiero lo hago como ese, lo arranco, cojo una serra y lo quito así.
Having established that all top professional footballers loved my car, we got back on the road.
So did you get any orders?
Do you know, I noticed that the car park was still full of Mercedes G-Class when we left.
I saw that.
Yeah.
listen. I could put this into an auction, one of those posh market ones, and it would sell for £120,000.
It would not!
To prove them wrong again,
Gentlemen,
people are examining bags.
Yeah, they're the
They're
organisers.
the organisers.
They're wondering about their carpet.
Handcrafted by a renowned British atelier. Sympathetically marries the chassis of the steam.
Did you write that?
You hammered that
course I
bit
wrote
onto
it.
that bit. The interior would benefit from some minor attention.
Well, it
yes, with a hand grenade.
Lot number 132,
Soon the auction was underway.
Ferrari 308 GTB at £118,000. Lot number 127, start me with this at 300,000.
And many of the punters were happy to pay six-figure sums for the cars on offer.
At 270,000, 285 for the Countach.
The
134.
Countach just went for £285,000. I think I'm going to sell the
At
Excellent for
285,
more
you're
than
out.
that. And then it was time.
Moving on to lot number 138A, the Excellent. It's a fantastic handcrafted, very unusual machine, as you can see.
want you with.
Beautiful, stylish Mercedes-Benz coachwork. Again, very unusual, unique and one-off motor car here for sale this afternoon. Start me, if you will, on this at £425. At £425. Any advance at 400? £500, 550 anywhere, 550 here, 600 here, 650, 650, 700 now. At
Rattling
650, 700 anywhere, 700 here, 700, 800 now. Let's go for 1,000. Now let's get going. Come on, let's sell this car. £1,000 here on my right.
Are you bidding?
£1,500, 1,500 here, 2,000 if you wish. It's 2,000 and 5, 2,500, 3,000 now. It's 3,000 here, 3,500 anywhere, 3,100. At 3,100, £3,200. At 3,500
Cost me 14,000.
4,000. At £4,000. At £4,000 any more. At £4,000. You come and see us after. Thank you very much.
You just lost 10 grand. You could have just thrown it down the
The Jaguar
lavatory.
Mark II, start me on this ad if you will. £30,000 anywhere? 30,000? 20,000 then. Let's get going. 20,000.
Rubbish. It's rubbish.
Hold on.
You were bidding on your own car.
Well, a bit. I just wanted to get, the ball rolling.
But even then it didn't work because you only sold it for 4 grand. It cost you 14,000 to make, so you cost our production company £10,000.
No, not true. I put a reserve on it.
What reserve?
£100,000.
100,000?
So it didn't sell at all, which means you cost us £14,000.
Well, yes, but we've ended up with the Excellent.
No, we're stuck with the Excellent.
It's really difficult to know working with you. Things like this. Is it ambition or are you a lunatic?
Sadly, there isn't time to answer that question.